Having only just recently 100%ed Fallout 3, and with Fallout 4 being my introduction to the franchise, Fallout New Vegas was the missing piece of the puzzle. But this game is a bit of a different beast. It's a special one because it's pretty universally considered the best in this series. Your choices matter a whole lot more, with the quest lines, factions and story being quite complex. The gameplay's a little dated, but honestly, once you get used to it, that doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about just getting lost in the world. For me to truly experience Fallout New Vegas as a first timer, I'm going to earn the Platinum Trophy at 100%. This means I'll be experiencing all 4 main story endings, lots of important side quests, completing tons of challenges, and of course, all 5 DLCs. So join me as I enter the Mojave for the first time and 100% Fallout New Vegas.
From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
The shot in the head is a minor inconvenience really, as the plot armor is literally insane.
Whoa, easy there, easy.
This Securitron called Victor rescued us just in time, and we've got Doc Mitchell, the greatest doctor to ever live, patching us up like nothing happened, apart from maybe some mild amnesia. That means we can pick a new name for ourselves, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know there was only really one choice.
Oh, my name. I am Lord Meg. See, look, it already knows. It already knows who I am.
With that done, it was time to pick my special stats. And listen, there were a fair few comments on my Fallout 3 video about what I should be picking here, which I obviously ignored. I am joking. This was recorded before that video even went live. That being said, given the title, you know, Vegas, I figured I'd at least need a little bit of luck. So I balanced luck, intelligence, and a sprinkle of my beloved charisma too. The doc runs a few tests on me, just for his own personal pleasure I think, before we're hit with a hugely important decision this early on. Hardcore mode. You see, this is the only Fallout game with a trophy tied to hardcore mode, and after my time with Fallout 3 and many hours in 4, I was feeling pretty confident.
Like, I've played a Fallout game before.
Played these games before!
So I am going to do it. I am going to do it. And we get, ain't that a kick in the head?
As I stepped outside, I stood there for a moment and admired the world in front of me, knowing there was one hell of a journey that lay ahead.
Whoa, that's bright. Okay, here we go, into the Mojave.
The opening of New Vegas is special. It feels a lot more guided than some of the other games early on. I'm looking at you, Colin Moriarty, but the locals in Goodsprings are genuinely really helpful. Sunny Smiles gives me a rifle, teaches me how to shoot the bottles, and introduces me to geckos.
What a shot.
I love these little guys, by the way. The way they sprint at you is just hilarious. I made sure to explore everything Goodsprings had to offer, as I know the situation by now. I want some early levels and weapons, so I don't get absolutely cooked once I leave. And so after doing a few short quests, I had to help defend the town against the Powder Gangers, a group who are pretty much my enemy from this moment onwards. They really didn't put up much of a fight anyway, and as a reward, I decided to gamble by challenging my new buddy Ringo to a game of Caravan. Now here's the thing, I'm quite a fan of card games, and I did get the hang of this one eventually, but man, did it take a while. There's like certain magic cards, I still don't fully understand what I can place on what, but alas, after winning 3 games, I got my second trophy. I will get the 1 for 30 shortly, but decided it's best to leave Goodsprings for now and really start things. With that, it's time I came clean. This isn't my true first ever time playing this game. I have played it for an hour or so, about a year ago. Everything up to this point I did more or less the same back then, except from here onwards, I got impatient. I really wanted to see Vegas, so I just googled where it was, ran straight towards it, and got absolutely annihilated by deathclaws and giant bugs. I then closed the game and never touched it again. Now, as funny as it would be to watch me die to deathclaws over and over, unfortunately that knowledge stuck. Anyway, I played the game how it actually wants you to play it, starting with Primm. Primm is under attack by escaped convicts, causing absolute chaos. The casino owner tells me the deputy who could help me has been captured, so it's rescue mission time.
I'm definitely a lot better at shooting than I used to be.
And the first attempt didn't go so great. This one guy with a flamer caused me serious problems.
Well, he did get 1 shot. Oh shit. He wasn't supposed to die, was he? Thinking he'd reload a save.
Second time around, I played it a little bit smarter. I didn't stand right next to the sheriff while everything exploded. And this means I managed to get the information I needed to head towards Novac. Before that though, something in the distance caught my eye. The Mojave Outpost. This is an NCR base where you can grab some quests, and I'll be coming back here right towards the end later for a trophy. I just didn't know it yet.
Hello there.
Instead, my next stop was Nipton, which also happened to be my first real encounter with Caesar's Legion.
What the fuck is going on here? It's like some Last of Us Part 2 shit. Oh my god.
There's not much to do here considering everyone's dead.
This place is scary.
So I quickly carried on down the road towards Novac. Novac actually has living people, which was a nice change. And one of them even agreed to play Caravan with me. And after again, a lot more confusion, I finally won my 30th game, earning the Caravan Master trophy. Victor's here too, and he mentions to like and subscribe if you're enjoying what you see. So let's not upset Victor now, shall we? More importantly for the story, however, there's an NCR ranger helping us track down the man in the checkered suit.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't notice this earlier. Obviously, I wasn't looking properly. But this is the dinosaur from the series that everyone's talking about that is facing the wrong way. But yeah, there it is. So it's a motel.
This is also where I meet my first companion, Boone. Boone's story is pretty rough. His wife was sold and killed, and understandably he wants revenge. After a bit of digging, it turns out the culprit is Miss Crawford. She gets what she deserves. Yeah, fairs. And Boone agrees to travel with me. There is a problem being on hardcore mode, however, and that is that companions can permanently die. So actually, he's staying put right here. I helped out some more of the Novacians, is that what they're called? And they were kind enough to give me a room in the motel, which is my home base from here on. I honestly couldn't count the amount of times I fast traveled here, but basically every time I needed to free up some weight, this was my spot. One of the quests from Novac was pretty important, and this was Come Fly With Me. There's some ghoul activity nearby at the Repconn facility, and I'm sent over to check it out. Feral ghouls are rampant, so I can see why I've been sent over, but there's a lot more here than meets the eye.
Low-key, the ghouls look so much more scarier in this game compared to Fallout 4 and stuff.
God, but are you ugly? Get upstairs and talk to
That's not a ghoul. Okay, so he's not a ghoul. Where's Jason then?
I am Jason Bright, prophet of the Great Journey.
Why am I doing this? This doesn't seem to get me any closer, but that's fine. Down in the basement, I run into Nightkin, and this was my first experience with them, so as far as I could tell, they're just super mutants who are addicted to stealth boys. We convinced them to leave so that the ghouls can fly off the planet, but there is one problem.
Right. So they're flying off, and they're leaving Chris, who's not actually a ghoul, behind. We've got what we need. We're back. I have. Right. There you go, mate.
After some convincing, Chris in fact realizes he's not a ghoul. To be honest, I don't know why he wants to be one in the first place, but my charisma does come in handy as we talk him down from sabotaging things, allowing them to be free.
I believe this is it. Right. Yeah, are we going to launch this? That's pretty sick. Oh, one of them looked like it was going to crash straight into me. Holy shit. Complete 5 quests and Come Fly With Me is done. And there is the trophy for doing so. That's awesome. Yeah, cool little side quest. I used to think it's a side quest. This is all relevant because now Manny will give us the information for our wild goose chase.
The guy you're looking for, Benny, he was traveling with some members from my old gang. They were going to Boulder City.
The thing is, my road to Vegas was far from a straight line. It was a here, there, back and forth, everywhere in between. Like other Fallout games, I liked the idea of just seeing what I stumbled across along the way and fully exploring it. It just so happened there was another trophy up for grab at Helios 1.
What is this place? Is that NCR? That is, and that's the NCR flag.
And this was where I could choose to divert power across to Mojave. At the time, I felt like the best option was across the whole region, so that's what I did. Now, on my early adventures, the only real problem with hardcore I noticed was my limbs getting crippled and then having some kind of disadvantage. The main one being concussion.
Oh my god, I really need this concussion to go away.
Regardless of my ability to see, the scientists were happy with me, and I completed the quest, rewarding me with another trophy.
Followers of the Apocalypse have accepted me, and I do get finally another trophy. It's been quite a while. That lucky old son.
Anyway, it was almost time for me to finally see Vegas for the first time, but I needed to head to Boulder City first. On the outskirts, I met some interesting characters. One guy actively defying gravity.
Buddy, I don't think you're sat on that. He's found a way to float, which is very impressive. Anyway, hello.
And this other dude.
Oh, I know where I am. I've seen this on TikTok, basically.
What the fuck are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
In Boulder City, there's a standoff between the Great Khans and the NCR.
Boulder City Showdown. I don't really know who the Khans are yet. I don't think I'm supposed to.
I'm a messenger of sorts, reunited with a familiar face.
What the hell?
Here he is.
You're that courier Benny wasted back in Goodsprings.
Oh.
You're supposed to be dead.
He tells me Benny stabbed him in the back and stole the platinum chip for himself. Because of this, he points us to the strip in Vegas. And yeah, no shit, I could have guessed that's where he was. Completing this quest also earned me New Kid for reaching level 10, and things were diplomatically resolved between the Khans and the NCR.
So they accept me now. Basically everyone likes me at the moment, which is rare for a Fallout game.
Before being Vegas bound, I travelled back to Primm to do some gambling. And this was just to prepare myself for the big boy casinos that awaited me. So here, I played 10 slots, 10 games of blackjack, and spun the roulette wheel 10 times. Somewhere along the way, I discovered the Hoover Dam, an area that, as many of you will know, is very important, but it was time for Vegas, baby. The shining beam in the middle of the desert. Vegas might genuinely be my favourite location in any Fallout game. Freeside made sure to remind me exactly where I was immediately. Within seconds, I was offered substances and immediately attacked. A proper welcome.
Wait, what? Why am I getting attacked?
This boy and rat here is a perfect summary of what Freeside is like.
Hey.
Boy, what are you doing? Yeah, fair enough, mate. No worries. Here it is, the strip. That's where I want to be.
Getting into the strip itself wasn't straightforward either. Securitrons wouldn't let me in without a passport, and I was so close to brute forcing my way through with science, but I needed 80 and I was just short with level 75.
2,000 caps is crazy.
So after circling around and leveling up, I headed back and was finally granted entry.
This looks nice. Nice and lit up. Lucky 38. I know Lucky 38. Okay. That's what that building is.
Inside, I reunited with Victor, and it turns out he's actually working for Mr. House. He invites us up for what is a very important meeting. Here's the situation. Mr. House found the platinum chip and was waiting for it to be delivered, but Benny and his gang intercepted it, and it's now up to me for how I want to deal with him, as long as I importantly get that chip back. The problem is, at this point, I had no idea how the endings in Vegas worked. So before doing anything irreversible, I did a little bit of research and learned two very important things. First, the next mission is where the story really splits off. And secondly, there's a DLC trophy that becomes infinitely easier if you kill Benny with his own gun, Maria. So Benny had to go, and he had to go in a specific way, after a short distraction.
I actually can't show that, I'm pretty sure, but that's crazy. That's crazy. There's more of them.
I made my way to Benny's suite in the tops and confronted him.
It doesn't really matter what I select here, does it? Because I'm going to kill him. So let's just do it.
The trick here is to use VATS, shoot Maria out of his hand, grab it before he can, and then finish off the job yourself. After exacting my revenge, I helped myself to the checkered suit and earned ring-a-ding-ding. There's also a safe behind him which I looted, and this just so happened to be my 25th lockpicked, earning me another quick trophy. With Benny's blood still fresh on my hands, I was approached by Caesar's Legion and invited to speak with them. And this moment right here is exactly where everything splits off. So, time for a big detour, eh? This is honestly where the bulk of New Vegas lives. There's just so much content everywhere. It's kind of insane, really. It reminded me of the times of playing Skyrim as a teenager. You pick a direction and just start wandering. Before you know it, you've stumbled into 3 quests, some weird-ass story, and another landmark. Which is perfect, because at this point, I still needed to discover my 50th location. I kept moving, beating up some fiends with a baseball bat to knock out another DLC challenge, and eventually found myself at Camp McCarran, an old airport terminal that's been turned into an NCR base. I spent a lot of time here, picking up side quests, helping people out, and slowly becoming best mates with the NCR.
How about a date? I like tough women. I'm good.
Freeside had plenty going on too, especially when I ran into the Kings, a group that's basically the Gary Vault from Fallout 3, except instead of clones, it's Elvis impersonators, and thankfully, they're a lot less hostile. The King himself gives you a handful of smaller quests, such as figuring out what the scammer is up to.
That's a good point, Intelligence 6.
Noticed that, did you?
Helping out his dog, but the real focus here is the rising tension between the Kings and the NCR. It turns out there's a traitor within the Kings, Pacer. He's murdered an NCR envoy and nearly kicked off something much worse. Luckily, Charisma absolutely carries this questline, letting me talk things down instead of turning Freeside into a war zone.
See, I want the King to know. I mean, I could kill him.
You're a bastard after my own heart. Here, this should do it.
Yeah, bump it up, buddy.
Fine, here's some more. But you better keep your mouth shut. I'm out of here.
I'm going to tell him anyway, mate.
You find out something about them soldier boys yet?
They said the man was severely beaten and barely survived, yeah.
That would explain why they're all riled at us. Maybe it's time for a little more talking and a little less fighting.
Isn't that... That's an Elvis song, isn't it?
Name whatever you want, and if I can make it happen, it's done.
And there we get the trophy, GI Blues for helping the King.
You only get one favor from the King.
He's like the Godfather. Do I just join for a laugh?
Normally, we don't let outsiders join, but I think I can make an exception in your case.
I mean, I'm happy with that. King's outfit. Oh, it doesn't really do anything. It's just for drip.
This stretch of the game was just really fun. There's no big choices yet, it was just exploring, helping whoever I stumbled across, and getting lost in the Mojave.
Lord Meg is fully pimped out in whatever this is, and it's now time to do some gambling in the casino. I'm going to try and get banned from this casino.
With luck of 10 via a suit and an implant, and having a solid understanding of blackjack, Lord Meg waltzed into every casino, and about 10-15 minutes later, had over 10,000 caps and a bunch of goodies to go with it. And this is super helpful for the endgame and the DLC.
That is 15,000 chips one here, which means... There you go. The courier who broke the bank. Now, it does seem I missed some combat armor getting banned from the Gamora place, which is a little bit annoying, because I didn't let that guy come over and talk to me. I just kept gambling, which is a problem I clearly have. So let's turn in my chips and see what I can do about that. If not, we'll just carry on anyway.
Doing quests around the strip was probably my favourite part of the game. There's not a lot of trophies tied to this. I think it speeds up some of the endings, but I was just having a blast.
All right, lots of side quests to do. Ooh, hello.
Lucky what we have here, ladies. Another unsuspecting ponce.
Who the fuck are you guys? Oh, beer's one off. I'm no longer drunk. You want some? Why can't I walk? Oh, because I'm not drunk anymore. Fire. What is going on in this game? This is wild. What do I need to do? I need some weight back.
Hun, nobody's given me a free thing before. What's it going to be for you? Caps? Sex? Straps? What?
Yeah, no, I've already done it with a robot. Let's not push our luck too much. Now I see why everyone loves this game. You're just all horny bastards, aren't you? You're not... You're like, yeah, the story's really good.
In the Gamora casino, I was helping the ladies of the night escape, and they had some real moves on them.
What is going on? Where's Joanna? Come on then, Petal. That disguise is incredible. We definitely don't look suspicious at all.
I also got an upgrade from Mick and Ralph's to complete my look.
Yo, we got a blinging pit boy. That's sick. I'm addicted to alcohol, so I need to... I am just becoming a pimp. That's what this game is. Mate, look at how drippy I'm looking. Who would have thought my New Vegas playthrough would turn me into just becoming a pimp? Look at me.
Hey, you're the one who's been going around helping people.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. Some iguana bits, lovely.
As I left Lucky 38, I was stopped by this lady, although she was doing a really good job of hiding herself.
Do you want to... I can't see you. I literally can't see your face. Dr. Lord Meg diagnoses a terminally low discussion of caps in this conversation. I love that.
She wanted me to bug the Lucky 38, and it's a simple quest that, despite what I initially thought, doesn't actually affect any endings. After I took out the bosses back in Gamora, I did some recruiting for the theatre and Tops, and earned a trophy for that quest too. For now, on the strip, I'd done enough, so I headed northeast towards the Nellis Air Force Base. And this was to meet the Boomers, a group who, as I quickly learned, blow up literally anyone who gets too close.
I fear I'm gonna die.
Somehow, after getting hit a couple of times, I still managed to stumble my way through the artillery fire and make it towards the gate. It honestly felt a lot more like luck than skill. Once they actually let me in and agreed to talk, the Boomers were surprisingly welcoming.
Okay, she seems nice. Oh, Vault 34, is that what these guys are? Help the Boomers around Nellis.
One of the kids here explains their background, and it's genuinely so interesting. He seems far more aware of what's going on than most of the other kids, which probably says a little bit about this place. Vault inbreeding is a serious problem.
Why are the kids all just stood under the under the barracks? Are they all glitched? Anyway, I'm gonna find Lindsay's teddy. I do really like the idea of they've all left the vault and they've taken over this place. This is really cool.
I ended up spending hours here and really enjoyed it.
Mr. Coddles is dead. I need the Boomers fame. I need the Boomers fame. Sorry, guys.
I played Cupid, helping two people fall in love despite the fact they'd barely even spoken to each other.
Here they are, the two lovebirds.
It's great to finally meet you.
Hi there. It's great to meet you as well. And you're even more handsome up close. Do you think it'll be okay if I hang around here for a little while?
Who wrote this?
And I helped get their power generators running, which involved dealing with a nest of ants. And with all the shooting, I needed to repair my weapon, earning another trophy along the way. Finally, the coolest part, I helped them recover an old bomber plane sitting at the bottom of a lake. Watching that thing rise out of the water was pretty cool, and it wrapped up the Boomer's entire questline in a really satisfying way.
That is the layer done. We've also hit level 20, so I believe we'll get a trophy for hitting level 20 as well. And there it is, up and comer. The end of the game was finally in sight. There were just a few loose ends to tie up, starting with the Brotherhood of Steel, hidden away in the Hidden Valley. Their presence in New Vegas is pretty minimal, and they're extremely wary of outsiders. Wonder what happens if I press no.
Over here! Can't stand up.
Yeah, okay. Definitely don't press no. Definitely don't do that. So naturally, their first move is to strip me of my gear and strap a bomb to my neck. They tasked me with dealing with a nearby NCR ranger, and I managed to convince him to leave peacefully. Although at this point, I'd already tampered with his radio, and, well, I didn't mean to do that. Well, sorry, Dobson. Hopefully he's not important. I've just voided like 5 quests, haven't I? Either way, the Brotherhood was satisfied. They removed the bomb, granted me my freedom, and opened up a string of quests. Bro. It's these things again. What the fuck? They're evolved. It's always good to see the Brotherhood in a Fallout game. It almost wouldn't really feel quite right without them at least showing up. The highlight though was easily the vaults. And exploring the vaults is one of my favourite parts of Fallout. One is completely deserted, where I unknowingly wandered straight into a trap room. Whoa. Whoa. Shit. Another is overtaken by the fiends. Why are they sneaking as if they're not literally being watched by everyone? And easily the coolest, a vault completely overgrown with spores and plant life. It's like nature has just reclaimed the whole thing. I am massively abbreviating things here. I spent so much time exploring the world and its characters, but unless we wanted this to be an 80-hour video, I had to cut quite a lot out. The Brotherhood eventually pointed me towards the Black Mountain, where I was sent to rescue the companion, Raoul. This place was packed with Nightkin, and these guys can really soak up the damage. Weirdly enough, this actually worked in my favour. I knocked out 2 damage-related trophies here, one for dealing 10,000 damage with guns, and another DLC trophy for using unique Mojave weapons. And it didn't stop there either. After rescuing Raoul, there were more Nightkin waiting outside. Killing 15 of them with a specific pistol completed my 3rd 2-star GRA challenge. These Nightkings and Super Mutants are causing me so many problems. There's a big chunk of XP and also combat veteran. You didn't even notice the hair. What is that? At this point, it was finally time to wrap things up with the Brotherhood, meaning it was almost time for the endings, but I just tidied up a few easier trophies I'd been chipping away at. I headed to Jacobstown to collect my 8th and final snow globe, and also recruited my 8th companion while I was there. I can speak to Lily, who doesn't really look like a lily, and that will be once again my last companion as well, but we can tell her to go away. And we do get the whole gangs here for all 8 companions recruited. I then spent some time bouncing between the NCR camps, relaying information for the quest Return to Sender. It's not really the most exciting quest, but it does come to a head when you discover the truth. And that's that false information was being spread around, but to protect soldiers' lives. A bit of a moral grey area.
Don't worry, not much bite left in this old dog.
I like him. He's got a cool voice. He's crazy. Like, his ideas are mad. I'm just gonna go with the easy option. His secret's safe. I don't want to cause too much ruckus. I'm happy with that. That's fine. And there is the trophy as well for Return to Sender. By this point, I was really enjoying myself. After so many hours, having the levels, weapons, and freedom to finally experiment made me feel powerful. This gun is sick. This gun has changed my game. There was one last thing I did to prepare to make the final stretch easier, and that was track down the alien blaster. Thanks to the Wild Wasteland trait I'd enabled, it was waiting for me on some little fellas I'd run into just before Mothership Zeta. I've kept you waiting long enough, let's finally move on to the endings. And I actually tackled the endings in order of my least favourite to favourite, without even knowing it would be this way. This was just based on my initial impressions of them. Okay, so I think the ending I'm going to go for first is for Kaiser, just because I don't think it will be my favourite one. I don't really know much about them, but I don't particularly like what I know of the Legion, so I'm going to go for that one first, and I'm going to have to do them all anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Master of the Mojave. That is 125 locations as I've discovered the Legion. Awesome. I met up with Caesar, and his plan was pretty clear. There's a sealed door inside the fort tied to the Lucky 38, and he wants me to investigate it. Works for me. He's quite reasonable, actually, for, you know, a murderer and slave trader. The door unlocks using the platinum chip, and inside is a hidden bunker packed with technology. Whilst down there, I hacked my 25th terminal and dealt 10,000 damage with energy weapons. But more importantly, I was given a choice. I could destroy the bunker for Caesar, or I could help Mr. House by upgrading his Securitrons. For this ending, there was only one option. I blew it up. When I returned, Caesar was pleased, and immediately sent me off on my next task. Deal with Mr. House. Now listen, full transparency, before doing this end quest line, I did look up things to do before, and the Alien Blaster was one of them. So, In my Fallout 3 video, quite a few people were annoyed of me doing Operation Anchorage so early, and I get it. I had really good power armor. I've tried to avoid that in this one. It's Fallout. It just naturally happens that there is a gun that's so much better than the others. Listen, if it annoys you, I'm sorry. I'm enjoying it either way, with or without OP armor. It doesn't actually make a difference to me. So, alien blaster in hand, I made my way to the Lucky 38, and for the first time, I came face to face with the real Mr. House. Unsealed chamber, yes. What the fuck? Yo, what is that? Bro, look at him. Wait, so he is actually, like, been here the whole time? Like, this is the same Mr. House. Preserved alive, just about. By Kaiser's command, you will die. Okay, listen. This is why I don't want to pick Kaiser for my main ending. It's fine. Time for you to die, mate. It took out his whole thing. Yo, what? Oh. Rest in peace, House. The house has gone bust. From here on, things are unique to the Legion, but not particularly exciting, as it's a lot of fast travelling back and forth. In short, Caesar wants me to either eliminate or convince every major faction I've dealt with so far to side with the Legion. It's a task that exists across all endings in New Vegas, and this is where everything you've done up to now finally comes together. Now, on PS3, most people complain about the crashes and frame rates, and yeah, those are bad. But for me, the loading screens don't get talked about enough. It becomes genuinely so frustrating waiting that long just to walk 10 steps, talk to one person, and do it all again in reverse. Still, I was edging closer to the battle for Hoover Dam, so I spent some of my hard-earned caps on another weapon. And I used it straight away, especially since I was now dealing with the Brotherhood. Unfortunately, the flames was starting to feel a little bit too much for my poor old PS3. Have we crashed? I think we've crashed. Great. When I returned to Caesar, it's clear something was wrong. He's seriously unwell with some kind of tumour, so my next task was to perform brain surgery on him. Thankfully, I'd leaned pretty heavily into science throughout the game, so the operation was a success.
You are healed. I have healed you. You've taken the bandage off.
Caesar survives, and that clears the way for the final confrontation with the NCR. At this point, they already hate me, so tampering with the console and blowing up the president really just felt like salt in the wound.
The anti-aircraft gun is going to blow him up. Incredible. Actually incredible. And that is Arizona Killer done. I did die a few times there and failed the quest a few times. Oh, I'm going to die again, actually. But I do get the trophy, Arizona Killer. As I am being shot at, I need to put on my good armor and get the fuck out of here.
And with that, it was time for the Battle of Hoover Dam. This final quest gets done 4 times in the Platinum. And honestly, it plays out in a very similar way every time. Thankfully, I could skim through this quickly on each playthrough with the Alien Blaster, as most enemies go down in one shot, which at this point, I was more than happy with. Eventually, I reached General Lee Oliver at the dam and challenged him directly. This did not go well. I just couldn't find him. Traps are going off everywhere, and hardcore mode was making things far more painful than they needed to be. So, I reloaded my save and convinced him to leave peacefully instead. I still actually don't know how you can kill him. I have no idea where he actually goes. But with that, I said my farewells. And this month I completed Fallout New Vegas for the first time.
Veni Vidi Vici. That is the Legion done. And very nicely, I do get hardcore as well, which means I can finally turn off hardcore. No way Rex died.
Rex collapses and dies.
That is why this is the bad ending. Basically, the Legion just killed everyone.
Because war
never changes.
The next ending I chose was the Mr. House ending, and this one starts almost immediately. As soon as Benny's dealt with, you can speak to House directly, and he lays out his plan, upgrading the Securitrons and turning them into an unstoppable force.
Whoa.
Things are familiar from here, as we head back to the vault beneath Caesar's fort, but this time, instead of destroying it, we upgrade House's secret army. This is where New Vegas shows its structure quite a bit. House's ending and all the endings are very similar in terms of requirements. You're sent out again to either convince or eliminate each major faction, and then return to House to keep things moving forward. The biggest difference comes with the NCR president. This time, instead of assassinating him, we uncover a bomb planted on his vertibird and warn security in time to get him out safely, adding the alternate trophy for this mission instead. This was also the last thing we needed to do for the House Always Wins quest. When it comes to the Battle of Hoover Dam, the roles are flipped. We're now fighting alongside the NCR against the Legion.
This place is getting decimated. Yeah, these Securitrons are crazy. Oh, it seems this part of the map has not loaded in properly.
And after blasting our way through the dam, we eventually confront the Legion's leader. The real twist comes right at the end. Just when it looks like the NCR has won, House betrays them and they're forced to surrender, handing him ultimate control of the region. Vegas belongs to House. The NCR ending was probably my second favourite in terms of story and how it all turns out, but by this point, it's just a carbon copy of the other two. Once again, convince the factions or remove them. The biggest difference this time is the Great Khans. Instead of them siding with the Legion, I had to convince them to back the NCR, and this involved taking out their current leader and forcing a change in leadership. Very diplomatic. Before wrapping things up, I made sure to clean up a few remaining gun runners 1-star challenges, and this first step involved taking out Mr. House with a golf club.
Have that, Mr. House. Oh, I dismembered him. Oh my god.
The second was clearing out a vault full of ghouls with my flaming sword, because if you're going to earn a trophy, you may as well do it in style.
It's 13 out of 15. 14 out of 15, that might be 15 out of 15. Yeah, it is. Gives me up to the challenge.
From here, everything else played out the same as before. Finishing the faction steps earned me for the Republic, and then after one last push at the Hoover Dam, I put down the Legion for good. That earned me Eureka and sealed the NCR's victory. Ah, the Yes Man ending. My favourite, and if you've played New Vegas, I think you can understand why. This is the only ending that you can't fail. And it basically says, fuck all these other guys, we're gonna rule Vegas together. You and me, buddy. It's also the most peaceful ending too. Apart from taking out Mr. House, everything up to the Battle of Hoover Dam is quite quick and easy. Yes Man will trust your opinions on factions such as the Boomers and Brotherhood, and just let them be. The Battle of Hoover Dam goes the exact same as Mr. House's ending, except instead of the House winning, you win, with a little push right at the end.
I see. Yes Man, please throw General Oliver from the dam. Oh my god, there he is. Incredible. Incredible. Best ending. 10 out of 10. And that is it. No gods, no masters. Every ending is finished.
At this point, there weren't many base game trophies left to earn, so the plan was simple. Finish things off whilst tackling the remaining DLC expansions. I tackled the DLCs in release order, so first up was Dead Money. And I love how New Vegas handles the expansions. Each one feels like a completely separate story, and almost its own mini Fallout game. Dead Money's setup is pretty strong. You're lured in by a mysterious broadcast promising riches, only to wake up stripped of your gear, surrounded by a poisonous cloud, and fitted with an explosive collar that will kill you if you step out of line. Welcome to the Sierra Madre. To stand a chance, we're told we had to assemble a crew. That meant recruiting Dean Domino, Christine, and Dog or God, depending on your choices.
I stopped believing in God when I realised it was just dog backwards.
What?
They're all interesting in their own way, but Christine was easily my favourite. When you first meet her, she's unable to talk, and it leads to a really thoughtful set of interactions between the two of you that slowly build over time. Bringing everyone together earned me the Assemble Your Crew trophy, and from there we had to start adapting to the next set of quests. Whilst trudging my way through the cloud and ruins, I finally used a workbench to craft 20 items. I also eventually tracked down the snow globe, and this is worth 2,000 chips, which pushes you over the 500 mark needed to unlock Sierra Souvenir Aficionado. Most of this section is spent running back and forth through constant danger, positioning your crew to set things up for the gala event, meaning we unlock having a ball. And this was also enough to push me over to level 30, although I couldn't really see a thing. Once you're inside the casino, the DLC shifts. It becomes far more of a puzzle experience than a combat one. It was a little bit tricky at times. I got stuck on quite a few sections, but the saving grace is that Christine finally gets her voice back. At the centre of everything is Father Elijah, and by the time you confront him in the vault, it's clear he's going to try and screw you over one way or another. Now, there are technically 3 endings to this DLC. One traps you in the vault forever, don't do that. One involves sneaking out after luring Elijah down and trapping him in the vault, and the other is putting an end to his madness with a good old-fashioned blaster. Both of the good endings let you return to the Mojave once more, a little traumatized, but a lot richer. The second DLC, Honest Hearts, begins with us heading out with this caravan to the Zion National Park, and the objective here is just to transport supplies and establish a trade route.
And there is When We Remembered Zion, for finding Zion.
This goes completely south, as the expedition I arrived with was wiped out almost immediately.
The white leper, what the fuck? Oh my god. No, Jed.
Leaving me caught in the middle of a conflict between 2 local tribes, the Sorrows and the Whitelegs. There's a few characters you meet here, Joshua being what I've gathered is a fan favourite. Him and Daniel send you on very simple quests to either fetch or kill something. Personally, it was a nice change of pace not playing on hardcore, and just being able to take in the environment, completing lots of short quests very quickly. By using my flame sword, I unlocked the trophy for 10,000 total damage with melee weapons, and just made my way through the rest of the DLC. If I had to rank it, it would probably be the lowest of the bunch, but by no means did I hate it at all. I still quite enjoyed it. There's just not a whole lot to report here. After a lot of short quests, you'll return to Daniel completing another mission, and are presented with two options. One being the easy way out and simply just leaving and running away. Kinda respectable, this tribe war just ain't the courier's problem. And the second being a bit more fulfilling and crushing the Whitelegs for good. This lets Joshua exact his revenge and completes the second DLC.
7,000 XP for that.
The next DLC is weird, like properly batshit crazy weird. This is Old World Blues, and you're transported to the Big MT research facility, a massive isolated research crater in the Nevada desert. And once again, you wake up isolated. This time, however, there's a little more to it.
You feel strangely heavier. Scars around my head, chest, and back. That doesn't sound good. I'm in a gown as well. They left my helmet on at least.
It turns out your brain, spine, and heart have all been removed and are now just hanging around elsewhere. Chatting away like this is completely normal, the scientists responsible in the think tank are some of the strangest characters I've ever seen in a game. They contradict themselves constantly, and somehow manage to be both hilarious but completely unsettling at the same time. Once you're finally let loose in the Big Empty, the DLC opens up to this massive sandbox of experiments. There's robo-scorpions, lobotomites. For most of this DLC, I stuck with the Power Fist, as it let me work towards 2 trophies at once. 10,000 damage with unarmed weapons, and 10,000 damage with Gunrunners arsenal weapons. I also picked up a new companion along the way to join me in the madness.
No fucking way. Oh my god.
It is a huge expansion to the game. The important parts you need to know is that I worked my way through recovering key items and tracked down every sync robotic assistant. These all have like their weird personalities, but they're pretty cool. And one of them ends up being crucial for a base game trophy later on. Right at the end, the alien blaster came in very handy during the boss fight against a giant robo-scorpion, before I finally tracked down my own extremely sassy brain and reunited with it. I returned to the think tank one final time, convinced them that I was actually the antagonist, Dr. Mobius, and they granted me to leave, bringing this completely unhinged DLC to an end. Now, I wouldn't say it was my favourite overall. I can absolutely see why people love it, but personally, some of the humour just leaned a little bit too far into silliness, and it actually pulled me out of the Fallout world. That being said, I can't fault it for trying something new and for committing to it. Saving the best for last, I guess. Lonesome Road. This is by far my favourite DLC in the game. The story is pretty simple and very linear, and at this stage of the journey that really worked in my favour. We have a companion to guide us basically the whole way, and this is Eddie. Not to be confused with Eddie in the Mojave. There is a DLC trophy related to getting all of his upgrades, and this can be applied to both of them. Eddie's very useful for accessing these control panels which act as a shop. And the amount of bottle caps I have at this stage makes this trophy immediately obtainable for me.
I mean, all of this is going to be super useful. But I want to buy Red Glare, Alpha Strike, Auto Launcher, and Far Sighting. Now, buying those should give me Rocket's Red Glare, which is a trophy in Fallout 4. And there it is.
Along the way, you're told to disable all 30 of these warheads for another trophy. And as mentioned, this DLC can be tough, but sometimes my own stupidity made things harder.
Oh. Maybe I shouldn't stand so close to it when I blow it up.
But the real hard part is that Deathclaws await on the road, and of course they pack quite the punch. It's a real good job I had all of the goodies of the game at my disposal, otherwise it could have been quite a struggle. Eventually, you reach this point where you detonate what I think is a nuclear missile. I mean, it could have just been a normal missile, it wasn't actually the biggest, but there still is an explosion. This leads us to the Courier's Mile, by far the hardest section in this game, and arguably the hardest in any Fallout game. There wasn't a lot here for me apart from 2 warheads, so my strategy was simple and foolproof. Run in, blow them up, and turn and bolt at the exit as fast as possible.
Well, fuck.
With a little bit of luck, it was definitely possible.
The fact I just stood there is terrifying. I've got the warheads. There can't be anything worth staying here.
After gathering all of Eddie's upgrades and dealing 10,000 explosion damage on the Deathclaw mini-boss, I finally reached the endpoint where I would confront Ulysses. In the same room as him, I could also destroy my 30th warhead.
And there it is.
Ulysses stands down and helps us take out some of the marked men who have followed us in. But there's still one problem left, and that's that the missile is about to launch. So we need Eddie to stop it, and unfortunately he sacrifices himself in the process. But that wraps up the final DLC of the game. That was Basically, more or less the end of my journey. As past that, cleaning things up didn't take too long at all. I reached 10,000 healing with stim packs, pickpocketed Sarah 50 times, modded 20 weapons, and then had to cheese quite an annoying trophy for healing 10,000 points of damage with food. You see, up to this point, even playing on hardcore, I was only on about 5,000. Luckily, water counts, and there's a strategy with the DLC where you can fill up empty bottles. Thankfully, there's tons in this Sunset Sarsaparilla bottling plant.
And in theory, all I need to do is go to aid and then spam drink the purified water. That is it. 10,000 heal with food. That is definitely the easiest way to get that. Trying to do it with like big corners and stuff was proven to be a nightmare, but yeah, this exploit is a real lifesaver for that trophy. 2 trophies left, and I saved one of the hardest ones for last. The first step wasn't too hard, as I just travelled between the NCR bases, including the Mojave outpost from earlier, and absolutely annihilated everyone with my Ripper in hand. I love how he's just running away from me. Captain Giles. That's gotta be it. It's gotta be it.
The next and final part, however, was a suicide mission, as I'd be travelling to the infamous quarry that I'd been avoiding the whole game. Now, even as a level 50, I got my ass kicked here. I needed to either blow them up with dynamite or shoot them with the equivalent of just throwing a snowball. And these guys come from all directions.
Oh my god, there's so many, bro.
Now, I only needed to kill 5, so a bit of trial and error should still work here. The plan was I would weaken them with my powerful gun and then finish them off with the pea shooter.
Oh my god, that's 4 out of 5. I need one more. Where are you, Deathclaws? Come on. Oh, it's a mother. Does it count? She's hit. Oh, she hits too hard. I press circle to pull up my fucking stim pack, but it lags. My god, man. Come on, just give me one more normal Deathclaw. The father. If I can dynamite him. Oh my god, I've done it. I've done it. I've got pros only. It's, yeah, that's tough.
And with that, there was only one thing left to do to finish things off for good.
This has been one long journey. My game is on the edge of collapse because I've done everything on one save file, basically. So, here is Festus. Now, Festus wants us to collect 50 bottle caps for this beer brand that I can't pronounce the name of. Basically, I've already done it, so I can skip through that, talk to him, and he's just gonna, like, take these bottle caps from us. Now, long story short, and it is a long story, he's not giving us a prize, but we can collect our prize. And our prize is, I believe, through this facility. Yep, these red doors, which are now open, which we could get before. Oh, there's a body. Alan Marks. And that's it. That holotape, which I haven't even listened to, gives us the Legend of the Star and the Platinum Trophy. Fallout New Vegas is finally done. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really do hope you enjoyed it. As always, I want to give a shout out to my channel members. You're awesome. But if you'd like to check out more Fallout or Platinum Trophies, you can click on screen to see another video by me.